Hello, I'm Danielle Buntyon. I'm with Jade's Elevation, and you are watching CannaBiscuit TV.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Jade, and you're watching CannaBiscuits TV. Listen, I always try to find the most exclusive people that's working in the CannaBiscuits. I said the CannaBiscuits in the cannabis industry. Yeah, we're gonna open up her CannaBiscuits, find out what she got going on in the world of cannabis, and it's so funny. You meet people from all over the country because a lot of pockets of places where you can't, people are not working in the cannabis industry. So I've worked with people. You guys have seen me talk to people from Canada, talk to people from Detroit, California, all over the country. And I went on, brought it back down south. There's nobody legal in the south. Some stuff is legal. And so we went and found this Memphis Belle right here, Miss Danielle Buntyon, who's working in the hemp side of things. And listen, she's going to educate all of us today because this is what we got right here in the South. A lot of times, a lot of places, you can't go. You got some CBD, you're not legal, medical wise or even recreational. So that doesn't mean you can't get into the industry. And so this is one of the things that made me excited about talking to her. So Danielle, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well that I'm talking to you, I was talking to
Thank
you off camera, talking about your backdrop. I'm like, oh man, it's raining and nasty where I am and everything like that. I'm like, oh, we got to call her back.
No, it's just the background.
I understand. So listen, right, you got a bunch of degrees and all that other stuff. I'll let you tell about that if you want to talk about your scholastic achievements. But then you said, you know what, forget all that. I'm going to go into the cannabis industry.
Yeah, I have degrees, and I'm gonna basically go sell cannabis. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how did that transition work out?
So, I'm gonna say my whole life I've loved cannabis. So I'm no stranger to cannabis, marijuana, all of those different things. But as I kind of went fast forward to 2000 kind of 15, it was starting to become legal. My dad lived out in California, and he was basically just like, hey, you should come out here. You love smoking weed. You should come out here and basically get into the cannabis industry. My one problem was my dad was in California, but at that particular time, I was in Nashville getting ready to move to Houston. So wasn't really on my radar to go out there and move to California because it was very expensive. But as I had transitioned to Houston, I would talk to so many people and come to find out Houston is a medical state. But the number to get in it was astronomical. So it was like $600 some thousand to get you a basic medical license where you didn't really do anything. So fast forward to 2017, I left, kind of not left, but left the corporate world in the mind frame. I was like, I'm ready to go. It has to be another way. Like, I wake up every day. I was executive assistant to CEO, also managed all the executives within that area. So it was just very cumbersome. But the one crazy part is my boss started talking about CBD.
Mm.
So his brother called him one day and rant and raved about CBD. And I was like, yes, that is a key. And then my other boss was like, no, you shouldn't go into CBD. You should go into growing marijuana. And it's crazy that I'm in Texas. I'm having some Caucasian men tell me that I should go grow cannabis. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, that is very interesting. So the next thing I did, I looked up every school that provided agricultural training for cannabis research. I looked at Auburn, Tennessee State, um, Norfolk State. So it was a lot of different schools that I looked at to do research, and found that TSU actually had a hemp professor on campus. So after that, I would literally from Houston fly to Nashville and go to classes and learn about hemp and how the barrier of entry into the cannabis industry was low. It cost $250 to get a hemp license. Basically, they taught you where to get the seed. They taught you how to grow. do kind of everything. So after I went there 2017, I just kind of went into it. And then 2018, 19-ish, I decided, hey, I'm gonna sell my house and take that money and start a farm. And
Oh
that's what I
wow.
did.
Oh wow. That's amazing. And when you said about the cost of entry, was that just for the state that you were in, or is that all over?
Actually, it was cheaper because at the time, 2018, I got a license in Tennessee and I got a license in Virginia. Virginia's license was $50 and Tennessee's license was $250 to grow. And I had got a processor's license, which is a producer, meaning you learn how to extract and you work with farmers. So I
Mm.
got that license, the grower's license and the producer's license. And that way, basically, once I talk to anyone in the cannabis industry, I mean, I'm a farmer and I'm a processor. So I never really separated hemp um, when I even first started and when I got into the industry. It was just like, hey, I grow, you grow. And they'll be like, I'll travel up to Denver and different places like that and just kind of understood that hemp and cannabis and marijuana, they all kind of coincide because just as much as I'm interested in THC, the THC growers are just as interested in growing hemp. So
So okay, so this is a great time for you. You segue it. Perfect. This is a perfect segue. What is the difference between the two?
nothing. A point, basically, the main difference is the level of THC that's in the flower. That's it. Everybody is lumped into a group, cannabis sativa. So that's why when people say cannabis, it really is what the name of it is. All plants are based under the group cannabis sativa. So if I say cannabis, interchanging between marijuana and hemp, they're still the same thing. And THC is in hemp. So I hear so many people say there's no THC in hemp. It is. It's no THC in an isolated CBD dosage,
Yeah.
meaning it's kind of a difference. If I just say CBD, no, it's no THC in it. But if I say hemp, it is very a high possibility that it is up to about 0.5 or 5% THC in a hemp plant.
So is the difference is just the way people use it and what
No,
it uses?
I use it the same. I extract it the same. I process it the same. The only thing is the level of THC that is in the plant is nothing different. My hemp plant will, like I said, register about a 5%, 6% once you burn it.
Mm-hmm.
And then a medical or a medicinal cannabis goes to about a 10 to 15. And then your recreationals can go all the way up to 35. So it's just like hemp is like a light beer.
Oh,
Then you get your Budweiser. Then you get your shots of Patron.
oh, okay. So
So,
are people out here smoking hemp?
yes, I smoke hemp all the time. Oh my gosh, where is it?
And yes, you are
So,
allowed. This is CannaBiscuits. You are getting
so
the CannaBiscuits exclusive.
yes. So basically, I grow it, I process it, so I sell it in different ways. I'll do pre rolls, I'll do concentrates. Once I do that, I'll do what we call stacking, meaning that you're compounding everything on, creating a stronger effect. But it's basically just literally the same thing. So when people say they want to get into the cannabis industry, if you have not jumped into at least touching a hemp flower or figuring out how you can start your process on growing that or learning about it is just kind of you leaving money on the table.
So with the hemp situation, let's go back. So we from the hood. We can talk to each other. So hemp is like Reggie back in the day, like getting some Reggie.
No, okay, so let me tell you, as I'm learning and becoming um I'm not gonna say yeah, let's just say it, a connoisseur.
Yeah.
Every kind of it is the grower's responsibility to give you the top-notch experience.
Mm.
um when I grow and cure and really develop my flower from start to finish, the same thing that goes into a top flight flower
Mm-hmm.
is the same thing you should put into your hemp flower.
Mm.
Now, the difference between Reggie and Reggie weed and hemp, because it's Reggie weed and it's
Uh-huh.
Reggie hemp, I'll say that it is the grower. It is 100% the grower from start to finish on the delivery of Reggie, or because they start with the same seed. You get
Okay.
what I'm saying? So I'm going to start with great seeds
Okay. And
on both ends. So
somebody that
you
they know
should
what they was doing,
thank
and
you.
so it all got good seeds, but if you know what you're doing, yours can come into OG Kush, and then somebody else could be some garbage. So,
Yes, and I can bring you hemp and a lot of times, and you can even see it in the hood. I've seen it in the hood. Some of my batches will be sold as exotic weed because if I can make it smell like it, look like it, when you touch it, it's beautiful. You're not gonna tell me a difference until now I've sold it and drove off. And when I roll it up, yeah, you gonna get a buzz, but you gonna notice that that buzz does not get you any more than right here.
yeah.
Now it might be a problem, but I mean a lot of street entrepreneurs love that it's a legal avenue
Yeah.
to upsell.
Well, I think it's good, especially for the old heads, because the old heads don't want that, I'm about to feel like I'm about to kill myself stuff. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
yes,
Like, I remember, what we experienced back in the day, and, we was hungry. How we was able to tell you had the giggles, you was hungry. If it was bad, you caught a headache.
okay.
That
So
was it back in the day.
that, and the crazy part is now you were testing it right, but if you got a headache, that literally meant someone cured it wrong.
Hmm.
So it could have been great fire
Uh-huh.
if he didn't store it wrong. He or she didn't store it wrong. So literally, that is the difference between like dirt weed that you used to smoke back in the day. It's now they've manifested the curing process. So anybody in this stage now should be able to produce good anything. But
Look, I tried that stuff some years ago. I was out in Cali with my partner, so that when in Rome scenario. And I mean, I don't know where I was. It was like I can tell you that I don't. It was when E40 came out with that song. We out here trying to function, and my partner was from the Bay, and we out
mm-hmm.
there, and he said, "Yeah." And he go, "Okay, we from when in Rome," and we're
Yes,
riding around for a whole hour. We supposed to been going to Fat Burger,
yes.
and it took us an hour, and we still didn't get to Fat Burger.
Y'all weren't hungry?
Yeah, I was starving. That was the whole point. But we just was riding and like dumb. I like, we can't even function for real,
Yeah,
moving around. So I was like, that's something different than what we used to do when I was in college and
right.
everything like that. You like I said, you go raid the fridge or somebody else's house, or you do it before you go to the caf and you go crazy. If it wasn't so great, you'll catch a headache and you're like, oh, that was dirt.
Yeah.
But now that's something different, man. So some of the old heads is probably like, give me the hemp.
Yes, yes, and you do. A lot of my clients are 55 and older.
See.
So yeah, they have tried it before and wanted to kind of come back into the realm. Now that either they're retired or they have a lot more time on their hands.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, and they don't want to be in a space where they can't even function, and they don't know they can't feel their face for real.
Right.
And so so it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. So, all right, you left this amazing corporate job. It sounded like it was amazing,
It was fun.
Yeah. And then you got into the business. What was your first hurdle?
The first hurdle that I took on was deciding if I wanted to touch it, like touch the plant, like really touch the plant and work with it, or kind of put in my executive assistant type thing. I know how to manage people, and I was like, well, I could just go to any corporation and help with the CEO to help manage the company. But I'm going to say, working with CEOs and owners, I knew that I was like, I'm not going to be an assistant for the rest of my life. So I had to kind of go in and take on being a business owner and then deciding majorly, like I said, if I wanted to touch the plant or not touch the plant. And I decided to touch the plant. So once you decide to touch the plant, you have to get licenses. So the first thing I did was to go get every license that I could get before I started. So
Yeah.
I had a license before I even had a business um, certificate or a business started.
Yeah. That's responsible. A lot of people don't do that.
Yeah, no, no, because it was just kind of a risk because I was doing it through two states. So I lived in Houston, and when I got my license, I got the license in Tennessee, and like I said, I got the license in Virginia. So I had to learn the laws between both of them, because little do people know it was illegal for me to drive with hemp. So I'm in a hemp program. I got a hemp license, 2018. But if I would have drove like, and I did drive it. But when you drive from Tennessee to Texas, at the time that I started, you had to navigate a path through states that allowed you to drive hemp through it.
Mm.
So I couldn't go, and you're not supposed to. But I was just like, you know what? It's a straight path from here to there. If I get it, YOLO. But you're basically was supposed to track out a path to
Yeah.
get you to go through every legalized state. And that's what you literally signed when you started the program. Like,
This is
I'll abide by these.
it's a new prohibition. I always tell
Hmm.
people now, Anheuser-Busch didn't start once they, got rid of the Volstead Act. They've been going, and so people took chances. It's the people that took the chances that put us in a position to do what we're doing now.
Right.
I remember being a kid and getting the High Times magazine wasn't coming to me, but it was, coming, it was being in circulation. And I'm like, wow, I'll see these things and they're talking about it way over my head. But I'm, 10, 11, 10, 12 years old, something like that. And reading that now, here I am creating a media brand. They've been doing that
Right.
way before this. So they opened up the door for something like this. And then you had other people who are doing 20, 30, 40 years or did that type of time to make it so that you can actually have a license, you know what I'm saying, to do this thing. So it's always one of those, you got to take those risks and you're setting up something for somebody else. And so no judgment zone here. You got to do what you got to do to get to that point and change your life. And this is talking about that. How did this situation change your life outside of just becoming an entrepreneur? But you wasn't being in something that everybody's jumping in.
No.
You could have been like, yeah,
So,
I'm getting a laundromat, or I'm getting a cleaning business. I'm doing hair. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. No, you went
no.
way left for most.
I went way left. No, like very way left. It was so kind of interesting because when I started out in the corporate world, it's hustle and bustle all the time. You're never present. You literally are thinking of making money for the company or doing something for the company every day. Now I can say it changed my life because I get to be present, especially during COVID. I don't have to decide if I'm going to work or watching my daughter because she does virtual school. So I don't have to be like, well, on top of working, um, my daughter can't come to work with me. Yeah, she can come work with me. You sit over there and I'm gonna go over here and work. And when we finish, we'll come together. I have your lunch schedule. So you know what? I can break on my own time and balance my time around your schedule. So to me, especially in 2020, 2021, it's gave me a lot of leeway to be present for my daughter and be there. But it also just ultimately gave me peace.
Yeah.
It's so peaceful to grow and know that from start to finish, you're going to get a reward. Um, so yeah, I always get kind of excited when we get ready to grow.
So you have a family,
Hmm.
and how old is your daughter?
She is 7.
Okay, so she probably don't know too much. She know I
No,
know, but she probably don't
no,
know
she
too much.
knows a lot.
Oh,
Jade Elevation. Jade is my daughter.
oh wow. Okay, okay. So
Jade
she's
is my
proud of
daughter.
herself. She's standing. She's
Oh
standing
yeah.
tall. She's standing.
Oh yes, she is. She comes to my classes. She helps me plant. I tell her about the plants. She she does it. She's my trimmer. She helps me trim the plants. She is a smell person. So I've always consumed cannabis, but she would notice the smells. So if it was really good, like you said, you got a headache, my daughter would be like, oh my God, it smells so great. This is a beautiful flower, because everything is a flower. Like, I don't care what you say. She's like, it's a flower? Yes.
Yeah.
But she knew when it was bad, like you said, oh man, I got a headache. She'll be like,
Yeah.
oh my God, it hurt. It doesn't smell good.
Yeah.
Or this is really like, oh my God. And it would be like, oh, you can tell that? And she could. And even now she still has a smell where it's like, that smell is beautiful to her.
Wow.
Like, so
That
really
is
good
botanist.
plants.
That is
Yes.
botanist.
Yes.
How does your spouse take it?
I don't have a spouse, but her
Oh,
dad did
oh,
not
okay.
send me to jail, so we're good.
No, I mean, because, and I thought that you did, because the reason why I said that, because, sometimes, you have these ideas and your spouse is like, look, babe, I'm just trying to go to work, you know what I'm saying? Because you
Yeah.
suck your spouse into your business. If you're a business owner, they
Right.
might not want to have nothing to do with the business, but they get sucked in anyway.
No, I'm a single parent. I've
Okay.
been a single parent since she was
You
born.
got a business partner.
Yeah, so basically that's how I kind of looked at it. I have a business partner, but I did inform her dad about what I was doing,
Okay.
just so it wasn't kind of a big problem, because as I've gotten more and more into the industry, I really do I travel and go to cannabis events like marijuana CBD type events. So once you get into the business, you most definitely cross paths with both things all the time.
Yeah.
And people are very more open to say, hey, you're a hemp farmer, come on to Oklahoma, we're finna have a cannabis event, bring your flower, we'll have our flower, we'll kind of mix and mingle and entertain. So I travel a lot, so I kind of had to let him know and inform. And I have even taken my daughter to cannabis events. So you have to kind of inform everybody that's involved.
Yeah. No, but she's gonna be the truth. You're gonna be the truth. Like,
Yes.
you're gonna be the realest. Because the second generation always better. They always go harder. And
I'm telling you, she's gonna most definitely. Someone asked me, are you afraid she's gonna smoke it?" And I was like, "No, I'm afraid she's gonna be the one outside with the tent selling it, saying, 'Hey, here go my product,' because I've been selling it since I was born. This is totally
exactly.
normal to me."
Yeah, exactly. I had to have a conversation with. I have two kids, and one actually mine is 7, and then my daughter's 12. But I had a conversation with them about this business I'm in, because I'm popular in my community. Everybody know me as a business owner in my community, and so I was going to be going left, as far as from what I've been doing. And even my daughter loves to bring me to school and show me off, and my dad does this and that. And I'm like, look, do you know anything about this? Have you heard about this? Blah 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 blah. And she was, yeah, I hear about it. And I'm just like, look, this is for adults, you know. So when you get grown and you ain't on the side of the road, what's the name? I ain't got no problem with it. But just when you get of age, that's on you. As long as you're not on the side of the road, you need this to live and function.
Right. Yes.
That's something different. You know what I mean? I've always been that person with my cocktails, but I've always been able to put it down when I need to too. And handle business, and I just want that for her. But I definitely had a good conversation, because again, I'm wearing merchandise and
Yes.
and stuff like that, and you got to make sure the kids are not. You can see the logo in the back, it's puffing right out. So
Yeah.
I want her to know, and my son to know, like, hey, this is what this is about. This is what Daddy does. So very, very responsible of you. My sisters are really like, kicking ass. I just got to say, I've been running into so many of my sisters who are like knocking it out the park. I interviewed a young lady from Toronto. She's the first Black person, period, to have a license
Wow.
out there.
Dope.
And so she got her own dispensary, everything like that. And I'm like, man, my sisters, y'all just don't leave us. That's all I'm saying. Don't leave us. Just hold my arm back so we can catch up,
Yes.
and y'all can pull us, because y'all are coming through it like and doing it on your own too. You know what I mean? So let me salute you for
Thank
that,
you.
for doing that. And so we got 2021, and you talked about coming into the new year. What's the plan for Jade Elevation for 2021?
So for 2021, I'm taking a deep dive into really diving into grants and building our structure. 2020, we received our first grant and we were able to build out our processing lab. So we have a finished processing lab where we can come in and do all of our water extractions and really focus on the manufacturing in a clean space. Our next thing is we're going to develop our indoor grow and we're getting ready for our outdoor grow. So really honing in on our genetics, honing in on our particular style of growing and doing a lot more of extracts. So I love to kind of do everything as in-house as possible, but a couple of things I'm finding out that yes, we will probably just have to outsource to get better at doing it in a timely manner. But yeah, we're just going to keep growing, but most definitely take a lot more time this year to work on getting grant funding in.
Okay. Again, people need to understand. So you don't have to be a nonprofit to get grants in this.
No.
Okay.
No, so the good part about this is, and believe me, it was new to me. So it wasn't like I'm just showed you an epiphany, but as a farmer, you are entitled to subsidies through the government. The government actually provides a farmer a subsidy. Since I am labeled a farmer slash producer, meaning that you hold these licenses and you are recognized by the state for doing this, they provide you with grant funding or matching funding for anything that you do related to being a producer or a farmer. So it's just like if I came and I had a soybean crop and I needed to process the soybeans down to a product, I would send it out to the processor. Same thing you're doing in hemp, which is labeled under agriculture. You're balancing out everything, allowing you to get the grants through the Department of Agriculture, conservation, the state, the government. So being a farmer, being a producer, that's kind of the aspect, not because you grow hemp, but because you grow is the reason why you're open to these grants and not necessarily having to be a nonprofit, because as a farmer, I'm tax exempt from buying things or purchasing things anyway. So being a farmer allows you to be tax exempt. It allows you to get subsidies. It allows you to get crop insurance. And if something happens to your crop, you're always provided some type of money, monetary guarantee for basically, it's almost like your service to the country. So you don't have to be a nonprofit to get the grants or additional funding from the state.
I love it. I love it. This is education right here. This is true education, because a lot of people don't know, and more importantly, a lot of Black people don't know. And so this is one of the things that we wanted to do, because again, you're licensed in Tennessee. What other states do you know of outside of the ones that's fully legal, like in the South, that you know that people that's legal, hemp is legal?
So hemp is legal in all 50 states.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you can grow. Yeah, you can grow hemp in all 50 states. It's about 3 states that don't operate under the Department of Agriculture. They operate under the USDA. So the last state that was legalized was Mississippi. So, which is crazy. They just legalized hemp, but they also just passed the law to get medical. So you just kind of got to see what's best for you. And especially in the South, I tell anybody, if you're in the South and you don't plan on moving, this all you got. You're not going to miraculously make marijuana legal down south, but you can get in the industry and be the best hemp farmer you can be, because all you're doing is getting the agricultural dollars in this plant. Because as soon as your state goes, who they gonna call? So as soon as this happens, who's gonna be able to apply and pass everything? Because basically they're looking for you to have a proven infrastructure to provide this. If you've already been growing hemp, you have the nutrients, the soil, the lights, if you're gonna do inside, and you've already got that paid for through the government funding. Why wouldn't you?
So what is the stipulation? So is it hard, like, with far as we talk about backgrounds, things that have been hurting Black people, the background,
Now,
money,
the
things.
background. Yeah, the crazy part is when I was encouraging people to get in when they were doing zero background checks and they just gave you a license, everybody laughed at me. No lie. So in 2017, from the 2014 to about 2019 was the time and threshold that you had to get in to hemp without needing a background check or having whatever criminal background count against you. Once they passed the 2018 and enacted it in 2019, it stated that you must not have been convicted of a criminal crime related to cannabis within that 10 years.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, sometimes when we do advance the law, we change the law when people could have gotten in it very easily. And I'm going to say it's relatively easy.
Yeah.
Sometimes they may scare you, but the Department of Agriculture is only a government paid entity. They're going to only do so much.
Yeah. Well, this is real. I'm loving this information right here for the people, because again, so many people don't know this, and it's just like they throw those things like you just said. They scare you, and they scare, like when they start talking those numbers, people don't even bother. People that look like you and I, they don't even
Yeah.
bother. They don't even show up, and it's not just in cannabis. I mean, you think about the trucking industry where
Mm-hmm.
people don't want to get their own authority and have their own business. They'll just be an independent or work for somebody else because they make it seem like it costs them, it's gonna cost their arm and a leg to get on. And they don't understand that's the freedom. And you
Right.
don't want to put up a little, like, you got $200 pair of Jordans on every month that they come out. So that if you just take off a year, you'll have
Yeah.
everything and you good to go. So it's
Right.
just a lot that we don't know. And I want to kind of debunk a lot of those myths. And so you're doing that. Thank you again. This is
Welcome.
great. What would you tell somebody right now, that's just been on the fence? They've been straddling the fence. What would you tell them what to do right now?
Do what you do best. Always stick to what you can do to bring to the industry. The industry's not going to change. The plant's not going to change. The only thing that now, because everything's become mainstream. CBD's become mainstream. Cannabis is mainstream. Everything is kind of mainstream. So if you're coming into this industry, bring you, because most of the time, even the color of our skin is needed. So when I say bring you as a person, because a lot of times just being a minority in the room gets you power, which is the funniest thing you kind of think about. Because, like you said, we're scared all the time. So, no matter where I go, it's one of five of us. And I'm the one of five who was brave enough to say, you know what, I want to do this. And I'm going to be cool with, I may not have nobody else in the room that look like me or hold a conversation like me, but I'm still going to go and meet everybody in that room
Yeah.
and not feel scared about it. So bring you to the industry, because we need to more inclusion and more representation, but also just don't be afraid. Please don't be afraid. It's here, and a lot of people will help you a lot. So
Love it. Love it. Listen, thank you so much again for, this has been enlightening.
thank you.
Taking us to Memphis for a second,
Hemp
via,
Town.
Hawaii.
Yes.
Let everybody know how they can find you on social media, your website for your company, everything like that.
So you can find me on Instagram, personally, Girl You High, business, Jade's Elevation, and Facebook, Danielle Buntyon. They keep on kicking me off Facebook, y'all. So Danielle Buntyon for all the Jade's Elevation on Facebook, and jadeselevation.com is our website where you can find us and shop and keep up with everything that's going on with us.
So why they keep kicking you off Facebook?
Because you have to understand the marketing of hemp. So sometimes I really get overzealous with my posting because I'll find a great algorithm that'll allow me to get my post posted. So I'm like, yes, yes. But then I maybe spell hemp, which is crazy, but I may put hemp extract CBD And as soon as I put that CBD on there, they deactivate my account.
Wow.
So yeah, it's wording. Everything is about wording on Facebook and social media. So you will most definitely, don't be afraid, y'all, but you have to learn wording when you get into any cannabis industry.
And you, with one of those situations, like you already know what it is once your page go.
Once my page go dead, I'll be like, and I'll go back and read it, and I'll be like, I forgot to take that word out, or I was just too into my description, and it just rings flags. So you got to watch algorithms and just kind of the things you type out. You just got to kind of find alternative, different ways to type what you're saying.
Yeah, nothing. You're a ball full of education. I can say that because people are getting Facebook has been horrible for people, you know, and they don't even know why they getting handled, you know.
No, they send me the little classes all the time, but yeah, it's just kind of what you put on there. They're more lenient on Instagram than Facebook. So a lot of times when you have them linked and you're just like, oh, I know this ain't gonna get flagged on Instagram, but then it posts on Facebook and you like, oh,
Yeah, I
like,
understand. It makes sense. But listen, thank you so much. You guys, listen, if you in this thing, if you're in Memphis, you know, pull up on her.
pull
Hey,
up.
social distance, but pull up on her and cop something. Holler at her, get some of this education, see some of the flowers. I want to come down
Come
there
on,
and see when you get everything up and running.
come on,
You got some more things coming up, so I would love to
yeah,
bring the cameras out and, you
come
know,
on.
get some exclusives.
Yeah, we're starting to pop seeds in the next couple of weeks. So
Oh,
either
wow.
between our indoor or outdoor, I mean, we're gonna be here. So we ready.
Listen, so y'all look out for that because again, we're gonna be going around. I got a company out of Detroit who is starting this app that is gonna be helping. It's for dispensaries. And it's a
Right.
brother and a sister, young brother and a sister.
Dope.
And they're opening up in April. So we're gonna go out there and definitely get exclusive with them because
Okay.
it's I'm excited about what they're doing. It's called Toucanna.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
so it's very, very nice. They got we just interviewed them as well, so you can check that out on the site. But yeah,
Okay.
you go and they go live right now. They're doing some test runs with different places around the city, around Detroit area. But they're going live in April, so we want to be there to support them. And you know, y'all make these connections. You know, the
Yeah.
media got to be everywhere. We got to control the media too. So we got
Right.
to put these faces into place. So y'all already on CannaBiscuitsTV.com. Follow us on all of our social medias at Canna_biscuits. Everywhere. Y'all know me, J Haleem. I am J Haleem on all social medias. And listen, y'all see her. She looks better than me, so go ahead, come on and give her. Listen, Danielle, thank you so much for
You're
giving me
welcome.
a couple minutes of your time today. Very, very enlightened. I'm proud to know you now and proud of what you're doing.
Thank
Excited
you.
to see what comes next. So enjoy the rest of your day and
You
we'll
too.
talk soon. Thank you so much.
Bye.